Today we're going to make this sound like this. Hey guys, this is Brett from Eventide, aka Headsnack. I'm an electronic and hip-hop music producer. Recently got to work on the new Public Enemy album, and I'm in a group called Regenerated Headpiece. I'm here today on behalf of Eventide to go through some of their H9 series plugins. This family of plugins is unique in that they all feature an assignable playable ribbon, which allows you to manipulate several parameters at once. By default, the ribbon responds to MIDI CC1, so you could play it with a modulation wheel. Most of the plugins also have what's called a hot switch, which allows you to jump instantly back and forth between two different settings within the same preset. You can go to eventideaudio.com and download any of the plugins you see me use today, where you can use them for 30 days uninhibited for free. So I encourage everybody to do that. I like to start my tracks around samples a lot of times. I like to use my vinyl crate digging passion to find little pieces of history and to pay homage to them in my own way. So here's the original sample. And then I kind of chop it up a little bit. So that's cool, but the first thing that I want to do is actually add Tricera Chorus. This is our new chorus plugin that emulates two different types of choruses, a classic stomp box chorus effect, as well as a rack mount tri-chorus effect. And by clicking this chorus mix button, you can go between the chorale mix, which is more of the tri-chorus rack mount effect, or the chorus mix, which is more of the classic stomp box effect. So we're going to keep this inactive as the sample plays, and when I drop it in, just on the default settings, listen to what happens. Whole bunch of space. Here's that ribbon I was telling you about. To assign the ribbon, it's real easy. You can just press the in button and you see a white dot here. So anywhere you see a white dot, that is the setting for that particular end of the spectrum of where you're going to program your knobs. And blue would be the other side. So you can move them to either side of each other. I'm doing it manually here. I kind of like doing that, but other way you could do it is just click the in and the out and move it to where you want it to be, and then unclick it, and now it's programmed. All right, so we've got Tricera Chorus. Now, to save time, I actually made a couple of presets for what I felt sounded good in the mix. As you can see, it gives it a lot more space, a lot more depth, and I'm going to drop in some drums. So here we have our drum loop. It's pretty simple. And I want to give the drum some depth. Particularly, I want to get those snares and claps to have some space to them. So I'm going to go and use Eventide Spring on my clap. So let me get to my clap here. Here's Spring, dragging on my clap. Spring is an awesome reverb for vintage rockabilly style surf music, dub, reggae, garage. It's endless, and it's really unique. You can alter the tension of the springs, the number of the springs, the dampening. It's got a tremolo that you could put before or after the reverb, as well as a host of modulation. And so it's really fun to play with. I'm going to drop this setting. I want it a little less exaggerated. And then I'm also going to drag a spring onto the snare. And the preset I made for this one is very subtle. What I like about this is I chose some extreme settings for the hot switch. So you can hear the spring open up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to automate that in my MIDI inside of Ableton. Alright, so I kind of want it to spring when the clap is not springing. So I'm turning it on just for this snare as well as this one. There. So you can see the hot switch will turn on here. So we're finally adding a little bit of variation to this drum loop. And I think I've got this other snare here. I'm going to put Ultra Tap on that. Ultra Tap is a multi-tap delay. I want to try to create a flam with it. A flam is when you pick a drum hit and there's a little ghost hit right after it. Ultra Tap's cool for creating these swells. You can taper the amount of taps. There's up to 64 different taps. So you can change the length of them to do rhythmic things by syncing it. See, I'm making it like a gyro. I like it with a little bit of pre-delay. Listen to spread, what happens. This is great for creating drum fills. Now Slurm, our Futurama drink, this can make it almost seem like blur the taps together. And add some modulation. Turned it off because I went to the ribbon. Alright, so I like that, but I actually made something a little less subtle. Or more subtle, I should say. Alright, so let's see what else we can do here. Well, I have a little synth. So it's cool, but it is dry. And I kind of want to make it do something cool, so I'm going to take our crystals effect. Crystals is twin reverse pitch shifters into 2 reverse delays. And add in some reverb, and of course there's feedback for each of those delays. So try to wrap your head around that. I've learned to love crystals. If you go up to 500 cents, that's a perfect fourth. 700 cents is a perfect fifth, and 1200 cents is an octave. Each voice can go up to 2 octaves, and they automatically pan, but unless you change the pitch mix. Flex brings it up another octave while you hold down flex. So listen. I like to call it a symphony of crickets. Now check that out. Create this funk. Alright, just enjoying myself a little too much. But I did create a preset because you can watch me just mess around all day, right? And that's not going to necessarily help you in creating your own tracks. So let's keep it moving. I'll keep it like that. I like that. Let's bring our sample back in. I'm not too crazy about it with that. I think that's why I made my own preset. So I'm gonna put that one in. It's called the Oct Rhythm. Gotta start my All right, so what else? We got a percussion loop. I'm gonna put Triceratops on this. I just love experimenting with these H9 series plugins. It's got a micro pitch that you can slightly detune, and you can modulate it with the envelope of the incoming signal. Now this is cool, but I actually want to give it a little more grit, so I'm going to put Crush Station on it. Crush Station is probably my favorite Eventide plugin. It's a distortion warehouse of overdrive and compression and EQ. I put it on the wrong track. It's got these octaves you can add. Ooh, that's just nasty, right? That's not right. Something not right about that. I'm gonna try putting the Crush Station before the Triceratops. Oh yeah, I like that even better. Does it go with the sample? I'd say it does. I mean, you know, there's obviously some mix finessing that may need to go down, but I'm happy with that. Let's bring the synth in. All right, so we're having fun, right, guys? All right, now I also got my friend Primo Soul to lay down some guitars. I'm going to first play you what Primo Soul sent me for like an intro. We wanted to try to make like a siren, so let me just play you a little bit of the intro. This is without some of the effects, obviously, still, but... So we wanted to make this guitar sound like a siren, like it was a call to arms type of thing. Okay, crystals. The reason why I hesitated for a second because I forgot that Primo Soul actually contributed a preset on here called Primo Scream. So this should sound a little bit more intimidating. Again, maybe not intimidating yet. Maybe that wasn't the right choice of words. I was foreshadowing a little bit because I wanted to put on one of my favorite reverbs, Mangled Verb. Mangled Verb is good verb gone bad. It's a reverb with this combined with distortion, and it's capable of some pretty nasty sounds, which I love. Nasty in a good way. So I've got this preset here that I made, and it's a little too loud in the mix. It's a little too much high end though, so I'm going to insert Crush Station after it. I like using Crush Station as an EQ. I just love the way it crushes tones and it makes this creamy saturation that you really can't get anywhere else. So I've got this preset here. Now let's try it without it and drop it on. So it's adding, listen with the octaves. Crush Station is one of my all-time favorites. I didn't really get into this before, but the sag makes things sound like it's a broken gear. So check this out. Starts sputtering. And then it also has a gate. So check this out. So this is kind of cool. You can create rhythms, with your Crush Station. Another cool thing about Eventide plugins is they have this mix lock, so your mix would stay the same regardless of what preset you go to, which I really like when you're trying to find something quick. All of these plugins always come with great presets, so great way to start. And you can easily save your own. Now, another cool thing that we wanted to try to do with the intro is add a vocal sample. So I have this vocal sample here. So it's just 1, 2, 3. That's all. Nothing exciting. But I want to show you what happens when we put Ultra Tap on there.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
All right, so let's figure this out. Let's make it sound cool. I'm gonna lower the taps. Let's turn off that annoying guitar. Yeah, I just want it slight.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2.
I like that. Got that out of the way. Now, next part we've got is a little rhythm guitar. Let's hear it without anything. And in the mix. So it's cool, but I want to put micro pitch on there. And one of the micro pitch is a legendary effect Eventide's been perfecting since the 70s. You can just hear how it opens everything up. So I'm going to check it out with the H3000 micro pitch effect. And turn off that loop. We go from that craziness. I like that. Let's see what we have in our next guitar track. It's a little funky style. So I'm going to put Tricerachorus on here because we haven't really focused on Tricerachorus for guitar, where it's beautiful. Let's find a cool preset. So this Lush Life is nice. Now, check out this swirl button. The swirl adds this stereo frequency shifting for a phalanging type like effect. Let's hear it in the mix. Inactive. Bland. Spicy. All right, now we're going to go over to this lead line we have here. Let's hear how that sounds by itself. So I'm naturally going to go to crush station first because I just have to do it. I love my crush station. And let me check out some. I mean, there's so many good sounds, and it fits in the mix so well. That's what I really dig it. So that's why I dig it so much, because you can fit it in a mix. You can make things fit. You can fix things in a mix. Like, let's say you have a snare that's just weak. You can add some bottom to it. And you could also feature something in a mix by, you know, taking a solo and just taking it to the next level like this. Now I want to show you something cool with the ribbon. It's programmed to those octaves, so you really hear. You can really hear it thin out. I'm going to exaggerate that, and I want to show you how you can use your modulation wheel on your keyboard to control the ribbon. So I'm just going to insert a MIDI track, and this MIDI track is going to respond from my Moog Sub 37. The output, it's going to be sending MIDI to the Primo Diddle guitar track, and specifically Crush Station. And does that work? It should be on channel 1, I think. Oh, yep, I needed to arm my MIDI track so it knew where to listen from. All right, so we've got that programmed. Hopefully you guys can see that. And I'm going to record that into the song, so that way we can get that solo to open up and to start with, like, let's hear how it sounds. All right, so we've got our ribbon recorded. I noticed something in there that was kind of a little ear jarring. It was this synth, so we got to deal with that after this. But let's just finish with this guitar track first. We've got it, what I like to call animating on its own. And we're going to do, which is my new favorite move, Eventide, if you want to make a new effect chain that is going to give away my secrets, it's the Crush Station and the Tricerachorus. I particularly like this Raven chorus. That let me listen to this, the same part, the chorus. That's with the Tricerachorus. Without it. So it just opens it up, joins the party with all the other instruments I already have shouting over there, make it big. This synth here is kind of jarring me a little bit, so I want to deal with the synth, and the way I'm going to deal with that is by putting undulator on it. Undulator is our magical modulated tremolo. Which has 2 LFOs. It's real deep under the hood, but the effects are quite magical. So we have this without it. It's got these like swelling, pulsing reverbs you can create. And have it sync to the tempo of your song. So I kind of want to bury this in the back because it's a minor part of the song or the melody. It's more just to give a little bit of ambience. I mean, there's no comparison. Here it is dry. Alright, we're getting somewhere here. We're starting to do some fun things. I'm just opening up the Tricera chorus for my percussion loop because I want to try something. Yeah, a little flange. Alright, so we've got our guitars, everything sounds great. This is our bass line. What do you guys think? How about micro pitch? Just to give it a little bit different texture. There's a bass chorus preset. Yeah. Again, without it. With it. Yeah. Drop it in. Alright. You like that? During the verse, there's also a different bass synth. It's very similar, but... And for that one, I'm going to throw on Crush Station, just to show you Crush Station is so versatile. You gotta drive it a little more. There's a bass one. Yeah, bass on fire. And you can mess with the frequency. Listen. You can make it talk. Nice. So our track is almost done. The only last thing I'd like to do is I've got the vocal sample at the very end of the song saying the number 3. I want to throw Black Hole on there because it's our, most famous effect, at least in this format, the H9 format. I'm going to put the H8000 Black Hole in there, which I'm sure is amazing. Probably not as good as the H9000 Black Hole, plug, but for now, I will settle for the amazing H8000. And let's hear what it sounds like. So it's huge, but I just want to show you some cool things that you may overlook when using Black Hole. The kill switch, what that does is it stops the original signal from coming in. So it's only the reverb that you'll hear, which is kind of cool. So let's turn on the... I started it too soon, but you get the idea. If you had like a longer phrase, it would probably work a little better. The other thing I want to do is freeze. Freeze takes the sound of just the reverb and lets it go on through infinity. So I'm going to have it go on for like a deliberate period of time, like let's say a couple of measures. Pretty cool, right? A little like that. Thanks for watching, guys. On behalf of Eventide Audio, we really appreciate it. I'm going to let this song play out so you guys can hear the finished product. Check us out at Eventide Audio. We're on all the different major platforms. We're looking forward to hearing music that you guys make with these plugins. Please send us your videos, send us pictures of your pedal boards, your studios, any way that you use Eventide gear. We love it especially when you use our gear in ways that we didn't think of. Thanks again, guys. On behalf of Eventide Audio, I appreciate it. Have a good night and go make some music.